The ceremony hall on Virel Prime glittered like a crystal hive, its walls alive with rippling light. Rows of alien nobles, their jeweled faces shimmering under the twin suns, whispered to one another as the human delegation entered. Among them walked Jonas Hale, 29, tall, quiet, and blind since childhood. His eyes, clouded and pale, reflected the soft lights without seeing them. A cane guided his steps, but his ears caught everything. The rustle of gowns, the hiss of breath, the false politeness that came with politics. He'd been chosen as a symbol of goodwill, the first human ambassador to live among the Aurelian sovereignty, a race of luminous, beautiful beings known for their perfection and pride. And as part of that alliance, a union gift had been arranged, a bride. They said she was one of the Aurelian High Sisters, daughters of the ruling house. But not the famous one. Not the radiant Lady Vera, whose beauty had been praised across star systems. No, they gave Jonas her sister, the one they called flawed, the one with the scars. Chapter 2. The woman behind the veil. When they brought her forward, the hall went silent. Jonas heard the shift in air as she approached. Light steps, slow and hesitant. Her scent reached him first, warm, like rain on stone. "Ambassador Hale," said the voice beside him. "May I present Lady Alara of House Enther?" Jonas smiled faintly. "It's an honor, Lady Alara." The room's energy told him the others were staring. Some pitied her, others mocked him. He could feel their judgment, sharp as knives. Then he heard her voice, soft, low, musical but unsure. "The honor is mine, Ambassador, please. Call me Alara." Her voice trembled slightly. He could tell she was afraid. He extended his hand. She hesitated before touching it. Her skin was cooler than human skin, with a faint pulse of energy beneath it. "You're shaking," he said gently. "I am told humans dislike cold," she whispered. "I didn't wish to startle you." Jonas smiled. "You couldn't startle me if you tried." For a moment, her laughter broke the silence. Small, fragile, but real. It was the first honest sound he'd heard in the room all day. Chapter 3. The Hidden World. They married under protocol 2 nights later, an official bond to unite species. Jonas couldn't see the way the guests whispered, couldn't see how Alara turned her face away from the cameras. But he could hear the cruelty in every hushed comment. She's the blemished one. He can't see her anyway. Perfect match. In their private quarters afterward, silence stretched between them. Jonas could hear her pacing slowly, hear the faint hum of her robes. "You don't have to pretend," she said finally. "You didn't choose this any more than I did." "I didn't choose it," Jonas said, smiling faintly, "but I don't regret it." "You would if you saw me, would I?" Her voice cracked. "My people call me a defect. My skin doesn't glow evenly. I was born with a mark across my face. They hide me behind veils so the public won't see. They think giving me to a blind human will hide their shame." Jonas leaned forward, his tone quiet. "I don't see the way others do, Alara, but I see things they miss." She turned toward him. "Like what?" "Like how your voice trembles when you care, how your steps pause before you speak, how you listen even when you pretend not to. Those are the things that make someone beautiful." For a long moment she said nothing. Then he felt her hand brush his, light, uncertain. "You speak like a poet. Human. Maybe I just never learned to see ugliness," he said. Chapter 4. The flower in the dark days turned into weeks. Jonas learned the layout of their palace by sound and touch, doors that hummed, walls that breathed light. He fixed the old human systems that powered her lab. Amazed at her knowledge, Alara was no simple, flawed sister. She was a scientist, a designer of light forms, a researcher of energy patterns that sustained Aurelian life. She guided his hands over glowing blueprints, explaining how resonance built harmony. "You feel that hum?" she'd ask. "That's balance," he nodded. Like music, her laughter warmed him. Exactly. Music in light. Sometimes when she worked, he would sit nearby, listening to the gentle rhythm of her breathing. He didn't need eyes to know when she smiled. In time, she stopped wearing her veil around him. Chapter 5. The first touch of truth one night. He found her outside, beneath the glowing vines of the palace gardens. The air shimmered with tiny sparks of bioluminescent pollen. "Beautiful, isn't it?" she said softly. I can imagine, he said. She took his hand, guiding it to the petals of a flower that pulsed like a heartbeat. You can feel it. Every bloom opens when the suns sleep. He smiled. You sound like you love this place. I do, she whispered. But it does not love me back. He turned his face toward her. Then maybe it's time you stopped trying to please it. Easy for you to say, she murmured. You don't see me. He reached out, fingertips brushing her cheek. She froze. His hand traced upward, soft skin, a faint ridge across her jaw, another line over her temple. A scar, not jagged, not monstrous, just a mark, warm beneath his touch. This is what they call ugly, he whispered. Yes, he shook his head. Then they've forgotten what beauty means. Her breath caught. He could feel her tears against his palm. Jonas, let them call you whatever they want, he said. I know what I feel when you speak, when you laugh, when you breathe near me. That's beauty, and I don't need eyes to see it. Chapter 6. The rumor word spread through the Aurelian court, rumors that the blind human had fallen for the scarred sister. Some mocked. Some were outraged. Lady Vera herself visited one day, shimmering with near-divine beauty. Her presence filled the chamber like sunlight. Jonas Hale, she said smoothly, do you not realize what you've done? You were meant to honor our house, not disgrace it. I wasn't aware love was disgraceful, he said calmly. Vera scoffed. Love? She's a defect. Then maybe perfection is overrated. Alara gasped softly, stepping forward. Vera, please, but Jonas lifted a hand. Your sister saved me from loneliness, from pity. She showed me light even when I cannot see it. Vera's expression hardened. You're a fool, human. Maybe, Jonas said quietly. But I'd rather be blind and a fool than see the world and still miss what matters. That night, Vera left in silence, but the rumor only grew louder. Some began calling Alara the human's light. Chapter 7. The fall months later, a solar storm struck Virel Prime. The palace shield generators failed, and the entire lower city plunged into chaos. Jonas and Alara rushed to her lab to stabilize the core reactors that kept their section alive. Energy pulses cracked the air. Molten light poured from ruptured conduits. Jonas couldn't see the danger, but he could feel the heat, the vibration of collapsing systems. Stay back, Alara cried. Not a chance. He found her by sound, by instinct, and together they rerouted the circuits, his hands guided by her calm voice. Left 2 more switches. Now hold. The room exploded with light. Alara shielded him, her body absorbing the brunt of the shock. When the wave passed, she collapsed in his arms, her skin dimming. Alara, talk to me. She smiled weakly. It seems even flaws can save worlds. Don't say that, he whispered. You're not a flaw. You're everything. She touched his face one last time. You saw me, Jonas. No one ever did. Chapter 8. The light within. She survived, but barely. The radiation had damaged her bioluminescence permanently. Her once silver glow faded to pale blue like dying starlight. To her people, it was another imperfection. To Jonas, it was the most beautiful thing he'd ever known. Months later, as Virel Prime rebuilt itself, the High Council summoned them. Jonas spoke before the assembly. You gave me your so-called ugly sister thinking I wouldn't notice. You were right, I didn't notice. But not because I was blind. Because she isn't ugly. She's magnificent. The chamber fell silent. Your people measure beauty in light, he said. But maybe true light lives here. He pressed his hand over his heart. And I see that clearer than any of you. Alara reached for him, her dim glow reflected in the floor's glass. For the first time, the Aurelian crowd stood not in mockery, but in respect. Chapter 9. What happened years later? Travelers spoke of a strange sight on Virel Prime. A blind human and an alien woman walking hand in hand through the crystal gardens. He guided her through darkness. She guided him through light. Together they found balance. When asked how a blind man could fall for one said to be ugly, Jonas always smiled and said, because she taught me something your eyes can't show you. That beauty isn't what you see. It's what you feel when someone finally sees you. And every night when the twin moons rose, Alara would sit beside him and whisper, Do you see me now, Jonas? He would reach for her hand, smile softly, and reply, Always. The end.